I am in desperate need of a boredom busting crochet project. I have been working on a secret amigurumi design for the past few months, and I am so ready for something new to focus on. Making the same thing over and over again is the surest way to make me feel bored with crochet. So I went on the hunt and found 10 magnificent projects, and surprisingly, they all turned out to be blankets. I think I gravitated towards blankets because they feel like the complete opposite of an amigurumi project for me, and that's why they are so appealing at this moment. But before we move on to all of these gorgeous projects, I want to make sure that you know of a free resource that I have for you, and that is my website, eliserosecrochet.com. There you're going to find pattern reviews, product tests, and free patterns, just to name a few. And within every single blog post, you're going to find a Pinterest pin. That way you can easily save the information if you want to come back to it later. In order to be on this list, each one of these projects had to contain 4 different criteria. It's a very exclusive list. Number 1, they needed to be colorful. The more colors, the better. Number 2, these needed to be somewhat challenging. I wanted to stretch my brain just a little bit, not too much, just a smidge. Number 3, and this is a big one, there needed to be a variety of stitches. And what I mean by that is that this project could not contain single crochets over and over and over and over and over again, like my amigurumi project that I just finished. I needed some variety. And number 4, each project needed to be breathtaking. No plain Janes, and I am very sorry if your name is Jane because that is so unfair. But these could not be plain. These needed to be breathtaking. They needed to be showstoppers, and every single one of these fits these criteria, and I literally cannot wait to share them with you because I think you're going to be impressed. You're going to be blown away, just like I am. Now, I would love to make every single one of these projects, but I don't think I'm going to have enough time with everything else that I want to make. So I had to choose one, and it's the 6-Day Star Blanket by Betty McNett. Now, I'm not finished with it at all, but here's where I'm at this point, and this one is so much fun. I'm going to tell you all about it. There are a couple of different reasons why I chose this project over all of the other ones. First of all, it's all over social media. I cannot go onto YouTube, TikTok, Instagram without seeing this blanket everywhere. I feel like everybody is making it right now, so I have a little FOMO. So I was like, I want to know what all the buzz is about. Second, this is a fantastic stash buster. Beth, who is the creator of Betty McNett, says in the pattern, use what you have. And I thought, okay, I'm definitely going to do that because I've got a lot of yarn that I'm trying to work down at this point. So I thought, all right, I'm going to bust my stash with this project. Well, some of my stash, not the whole thing. And another reason is that it's called the 6-Day Star Blanket because, in theory, you should be able to make this blanket in 6 days, which I know Beth has done many times. Now, I don't think this is going to take me just 6 days to make this one, but it does mean that it's not going to take months to make. So I'm really excited about a quick project right now. Crochet isn't the only boredom buster that I'm sharing about today. I've been studying Spanish for a year and a half, and Babel is one of the top language learning apps in the world. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the language learning process? Well, let me introduce you to a brand new feature on Babel, and that's their live private classes. Imagine getting one-on-one attention from native level language tutors, all from the convenience of your own home. I had so much fun with my Babel live class. The focus of that class was learning to talk about our families, and it was really so much fun. Yo tengo un esposo, 4 hijos y 2 gatos, Olive y Pickle. I just said I have 1 husband, 4 kids, and 2 cats, Olive and Pickle. Signing up for the live class was super simple. I just went into the app, found the time that was convenient for me, and I also received a file download with all of the information, all of the slides that we used during the class. We practiced speaking, I worked on pronunciation, and we even discussed real life scenarios, and I can't wait to do it again. Subscription Subscriptions also include access to group classes as well as the Babel app. Plus, you can take a placement class to assess your level. And here's the best part, get up to 50% off unlimited live private classes. But if you're not ready to commit to live classes yet, Babel is still offering discounts on their app subscriptions. So be sure to click on my link to check them out. Let me know in the comment section what language you want to learn. Thank you so much to Babel for sponsoring today's video. What I am already loving about this project is that every round is different. I am so excited about that. I am so enjoying every round is different. It is exciting, but here's the best part is that once you learn what stitches you're doing in that round, you can work the whole round because they're just repeats. So it's like, ooh, we're learning something new. We're doing something different. It's not the same old over and over again. And while I love amigurumi projects, but sometimes when you're making the same one over and over again, it can become very monotonous. So this is the perfect project after doing all of that amigurumi work. And let me just tell you, this project is so addictive. All I want to do is pick up my hook and work on the next round. I want to know what's coming up next. What are we going to do next? And it's just, it is so much fun. And before I forget, I'm going to leave all of the links for all of the patterns that I'm talking about in the description box below. I'm using Paintbox Simply DK for this blanket, and this is a 100% acrylic yarn. It's extremely affordable. And the reason I'm using this is that I bought this yarn for this project. This is the little amigurumi astronaut. This is from the book Amigurumi People, designed by Amigurumi May. And although he turned out super cute, he's really adorable, I didn't like this yarn for amigurumi. But while I was making him, I kept thinking, this yarn reminds me so much of Stylecraft Special DK, and that is one of my favorite yarns for crocheting blankets. So that's why I decided I am going to make a blanket with this yarn one of these days, and this is the perfect one. And I decided that I like this color combination so much that I'm going to use it to make this blanket. I'm going to use the exact same colors. The next Boredom Buster crochet project is the Sunny Blooms blanket by Mama in a Stitch. Oh my goodness, I love this blanket so much and all of those vibrant colors. These squares feature daisies, zinnias, and purple dahlias, and just by changing the colors of the yarn, you will make a different flower. Jessica used Woolies Thick and Quick to make this blanket, and that's a number 6 super bulky weight yarn, and it is 4 squares wide and 5 squares long. So you only need to make 20 squares to get a lap size blanket. This is also a free pattern with a full photo tutorial. This next project is one of the most stunning crochet blankets I have ever seen, and it's the Painted Anemones by Sandra Paul of Cherry Heart. Sandra is one of the most talented crochet designers I know. She has a knack for creating the most beautiful, delicate, colorful crochet projects. When I'm scrolling on social media and I see one of her photos, I immediately know that it's her project because she has such a distinctive style. Sandra is using a yarn that I see a lot out there, but I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's their Stone Wash. It's a DK weight yarn and it's 78% cotton and 22% acrylic. It comes in 36 different colors and it has that stone washed look that gives the project dimension and it makes it look really interesting. I love how Sandra made the blanket with all of the colors in a rainbow stripe or a gradient. They really are spectacular, and all of these little hexagons together are just, they're so beautiful. This is a paid pattern and you will find it on Ravelry, Lovecrafts, and Etsy. The next Boredom Buster crochet project is the Geometric Mosaic Blanket by Erin from Juniper and Oaks. Mosaic crochet is something that I have never done before, and I was always very intimidated by it, but Erin and I got to meet each other in Colorado at the Crochet Business Summit and at H&H Americas as well, and I asked her, like, how do you do mosaic crochet? And she was working on this blanket, and she showed me how to do it, and I thought, oh my goodness, it looks so much more complicated than it actually is. Mosaic crochet really is the perfect boredom buster project because every row you're doing something different. You've got to follow the chart so that you make sure that you're getting the correct design. And Erin has so many beautiful mosaic crochet blankets, and you're definitely going to want to check them out. And I will leave a link for this pattern in the description box below. The next boredom buster project is the simple crochet blanket with a woven look by Tanya from Nana's Crafty Home. This pattern uses a stitch called the interlocking arches columns crochet stitch, and it looks woven instead of crocheted. And Tanya states in the pattern that this stitch looks complicated, but really it's just a combination of double crochets, single crochets, and chains, and where you place them all together. And originally Tanya used the Lion Brand Mandala tweed yarn, but it is now discontinued. So she substituted it with the Lion Brand Ferris wheel yarn, which she said turned out fantastic as well. She recommends finding a short self-striping ombre yarn in two contrasting colors, one light and one dark. And this is also a free pattern, and there are 7 different sizes to choose from. The next boredom buster crochet project is absolutely stunning. This is the Macaroon Blossom Afghan by Apple Blossom Dreams. Just wow. This is an incredible boredom buster crochet project. Look at all of those colors and all of those beautiful flowers. She's also using the Shapejers. I'm so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that yarn, but it's the Stonewash. She's using that for this project. This is a paid pattern, but it's 29 pages long and contains over 100 step-by-step photos and charts. The Apple Blossom Etsy shop has fantastic reviews, and I highly recommend looking at all of her different projects on her Etsy shop. They are stunning. She has blankets, pillows, hats, scarves, and flower patterns, just to name a few. We're taking a little detour with this next boredom buster crochet project, and once you see it, you'll understand why I included it. This is the Mixtape Medley Crochet Blanket by Zines and Roger. I mean, how fun is this project? How many of you remember sitting by the radio waiting for your favorite song to come on, and you've got to push the play button and the record button both at the same time at the very beginning of the song so you could make that perfect mixtape? And I'm not ashamed to admit that my perfect mixtape had Bon Jovi and New Kids on the Block on it. I still love their music. I love the name of this blanket. I love all of those fun 80s references with those stripes and the bright colors. It's just so much fun. You didn't think I would have a list of boredom busting crochet projects and not include something from my girl Tony from TL Yarn Crafts, did you? The Good Vibes Throw contains all of my criteria for being the perfect boredom buster. It's colorful. It uses a stitch I've never done before, and it's a total showstopper. Tony is the best at combining colors in fresh new ways. I don't think I would have ever thought to pair a hot pink with those other colors, but it totally works. Tony used a combination of Caron Simply Soft Speckles and Simply Soft Solids to create this effect. It's a free pattern, and you'll also find a video tutorial for how to make that block stitch. The next boredom buster crochet blanket is the Penny. This is a striped corner-to-corner blanket from the mother-daughter duo of I Can Crochet That. One thing I love about this blanket is that it's perfect for using up some of your leftover mandala yarn, and it creates this absolutely striking visual of those stripes and the varying colors. It is absolutely stunning. It's a free pattern, but they also have a video tutorial for how to do that corner-to-corner moss stitch. I've saved one of my favorites for very last. This boredom buster crochet blanket project was designed by one of my favorite crochet designers, and that's Janie Crow. This is the Fruit Garden blanket, and need I say more? This is absolutely incredible. And I was reading last night through her inspiration for this blanket because Janie has this way of finding this incredible inspiration outside of crochet and then taking it and creating the most spectacular crochet blanket projects that I've ever seen. This one was inspired by this historical research that she was doing, and she found this woman who was an incredible embroiderer who embroidered all of these beautiful flowers, and she used that to inspire this gorgeous design. This is an entirely free pattern on the Stylecraft website, which you'll find a link to in the description box below. The project is meant to take you from very simple to very complex, and you're going to learn so much along the way. The blanket is shown in 2 different colorways, and they're both using Stylecraft yarns. For the off-white project, they're using Stylecraft Life DK and the Stylecraft Batik DK, so they're combining those 2 different yarns. And for the dark background blanket, they're using the Stylecraft Naturals Cotton and Bamboo yarn. It's absolutely stunning. I've shared before that I started working on a Janie Crow blanket many years ago, and that's the Frida's Flowers. I've shared it many times here on the channel before, and it's one of those projects that I have abandoned and I have not finished it. I chose a yarn that is not going to work for me now because it is 100% cotton. Cotton doesn't have a lot of stretch and it causes a lot of pain in my hands, but I've kept it. I keep it here, right here in my craft room, because one day maybe my hands will start to limber up and I'll be able to use that 100% cotton again and finish that blanket, because it is absolutely stunning. I love every single thing that Janie Crow designs. They are very challenging projects. These are not beginner friendly at all, but you will find some helpful video tutorials. She has a YouTube channel. The patterns are excellently written and they have tons of very clear photos in them, so you are able to make the projects just from the patterns themselves. But isn't this one absolutely gorgeous? It takes my breath away. I hope you enjoyed all of these Boredom Buster crochet blanket projects, and that if you were feeling in a slump, that maybe you feel more inspired now and you want to grab your crochet hook and maybe make that 6-day star blanket, or maybe you want to dive into a Janie Crow design and really challenge yourself this year. But I hope you have a great rest of your week. Stay safe and happy stitching.